And instead of doing something about it, guess what? I harmed myself. I started drinking, numbing myself so I won't feel the pain. And for years, that's what happened for me. It got progressively worse. That's what tends to happen with addictions. As you go through those phases, no matter what you're dealing with, whether it's food, gambling, shopping, sex, another human being, you may not even be doing the do with somebody, but you just gotta be around them. You just gotta have their energy. Y'all, that's an addiction too. There are all types of things that can cause you to reach for that thing versus healing. Going in here is what I talk about a lot in my live. Y'all, talk about Carl Jung. If you've never heard of him, J-U-N-G is his last name. Carl Jung. Sounds like young, but the J is silent. J-U-N-G, the shadow work, y'all. I'm sure you've heard that term before. People throw these words around too, y'all. That's another reason why I started this page, going in to do the work. But I started this page too, y'all. I have a background. I have a master's degree in social work. I used to be a therapist, so it's very ironic that I became the patient. But that's not uncommon. The doctor sometimes becomes the patient. The teacher sometimes becomes the student. Guess what? I'm walking around diagnosing people, and guess what? I became addicted to alcohol. I was hiding my depression, going through it in silence because I was so strong and I was a perfectionist. I want the world to see me as a perfectionist, so I had this mask on. Every day I'm showing up smiling, hey guys, happy, blah. Deep down inside, I'm broken, going home drinking, not telling a soul what I was going through. And that's why I get on here to talk about the fact that you do not have to suffer alone, and you don't have to suffer that long. You don't have to suffer alone, and you don't have to suffer that long. So those 3 questions: how am I feeling today, y'all? Mentally, where am I? Every single day I need to check my mood and my attitude before I even get out that bed, before I even say good morning to my spouse, before I even go make breakfast or whatever I'm doing and interacting with people. I need to check myself first. I'm feeling today. Why is that? Why am I crying? Why am I angry? Why am I worried? Why am I irritable? Why are you yelling at the dog? Are you looking out the window at the mailman about to, y'all? Check on that. Why? And then you do I call it the deduction. The why. You got to get to the lowest or the most minute why behind things. There's always a why behind it. Why was I? Why? And it got to the point where I got to the reason for me, y'all. It was personal. It wasn't just the divorce. It was some stuff from my childhood that I had never dealt with. Years of therapy, years of counseling, and the psychiatrist got me back on track. What am I feeling is the physical, right? So how am I feeling is the mental. Where's my head at today? Why have I been irritable, like I said, or worried about bills? I always say at the beginning of the month, is this typically how I am? And middle of the month, pay attention to your baseline. But then physical, why am I avoiding this headache? Why am I avoiding these cramps and my back hurting and my knees? No, you need to go ahead and get that taken care of because it's gonna get progressively worse. What do we do as humans? We tend to just brush it under the rug. We'll deal with it later. Why? Is it financial? Is it right now is not the right time? Guess what I'm gonna say? Why? And then when you answer that, why? Why? Till we get to the real reason. Am I depressed today? Am I anxious? I always say to y'all, when you're getting to a certain place on your way to work, feel your heart rate speed up a little bit. Pay attention to that. Every time I walk into this building, this jumps on me, this feeling. Every morning at 7 a.m., this hits me. I gotta figure this out. We have a choice every day too. One of my hashtags is choose happiness. Started that in 2016. Good grief, that's the perfect word. Avoiding. That's why I've created this safe space too. We don't judge in here. There are things we deal with that become stressors, triggers. There are certain things that, like I said, y'all always show the back of your head. This is not where it necessarily happens, but I study psychology too, y'all. So there are certain parts of the brain, right? But I always point back here. This is life. When that thing happens, what am I reaching for? What is my coping mechanism? And what are my coping skills? What's in my knapsack? What's in my bag, my arsenal? I'm 47 years old. I ran so fast through life, now I'm sitting here like, Did y'all see that? Like, nope. And I didn't either. My life went so fast, y'all, but I got a bag full of stuff, a bag full of stories. And I tell people all the time, I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up from my depression. I'm still waking up from running so fast, checking the box. accomplished that, got that, to get to this point like, okay, what was all that for? What was all of that for? So I promote positive mental health, meaning talking about life, talking about this right here, y'all. I do 3 arms, right? This one is the awareness and prevention arm. You want to stay here, aware of what the symptoms are, preventing what those symptoms are. So guess what? I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to stay active. I'm trying to read something. I'm trying to listen to something new, right, y'all? This is awareness and prevention.